Welcome, 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 friends, patriots. How are you today? You guys are looking good. I see a lot of chatter already in the chat room. It's always fun to see that. The fun part about what we do here is we get to play DJ now at the beginning of the shows. So, yeah, surprising that I would pick a country music song. Those of you who know me, no, I don't know that world at all. It's completely different. But one world I do know, one person I do know is my amazing co host. He's still in parts unknown. Let me bring in Mr. Lewis Herms. You can cheer for him, it's okay. Lewis, how are you, my friend?
Uh, awesome, Robert. Awesome. I'm glad you played that song or any Patriot song at this point. It's pretty interesting if we really sit down and have deep thought. Based on the work of the founding fathers, the United States has been really created as that beacon on the hill, as the freedom, as the most amazing country that's ever been created, I think, under God and through God. The perception in the world is that it's also the greatest country in the world. Big but.
Oh, he's keeping us hanging. You see that?
Are we good?
You froze up. Now you're back. Okay, good.
Yeah, of course.
I
Of
got the
course, because
big
this is
butt,
pretty,
and that was it. And I was going to say,
yeah,
Lewis
pretty,
likes big butts, but
and he cannot lie, right? And so the big but is the facade that's used. So in essence, because of the baddies, the beautiful red, white, and blue is actually a wolf in sheep's clothing because our military and our amazing country is used by proxy to take out leaders in other countries that are literally want independence from the central banking system, from the big pharma system, from the cabal. And they use us as proxy through our media and our politics to demonize these other leaders and then take them down. And because of our strong patriotism and America has a very, very strong backbone when it comes to war, and we can go into detail on that. What happens is we go in with all this patriotic fervor and eliminate somebody that we think is bad who
yeah, I guess we're going to have this problem today with Lewis
happening.
freezing right there. Okay.
Am I freezing again?
Yeah,
Okay.
just for a moment.
So so to cut to the chase, what happens is one of the reasons why Americans are so good at war fighting is because if you believe you're doing it for a good cause or under God, it's been proven that you fight harder and stronger than if you're under a dictator's thumb,
Right.
right? So they've done a really good job to make us feel like they're free while they're undermining our sovereignty all the way. Good news is we're on our way back. And when I say we, I mean we the people.
It doesn't take a rocket scientist to look at other countries, for instance, and realize it's like, why are there no other free countries around? Why is it always the same thing? And we talked about Libya the other day with Muammar Gaddafi. Like he had the system, he had it built out, and he was against the central bank, which is where we want to end up, and they took him out. They wouldn't allow it to happen. So it's like I think if you want to look at it, and it's really scary to think this way, but maybe we're the country that's keeping everybody impoverished.
Well, we are. So my son has a friend in the Marines. I will leave it at that. That was let's say I would say borderline suicidal, at minimum very, very depressed. And they had trouble getting the information out of him. And then one day he talked to my son, and my son says, "What's going on? Ever since you've come back from your tours, you're just not the same." And he says, "I found out that we're not the good guy."
Yeah,
That's heavy.
yeah,
That's super heavy.
yeah.
I talked to a Navy SEAL a couple of days ago, and that was one of the things him and his team said he was struggling with the most. that what he thought was doing good work may not have been, because we're working for the deep state. The great news with this awakening is all that is going to change. And, Trump's golden boomerang is smacking the back of the head of many deep staters right now. So it's only going to get better.
Yeah. Yeah. Now we've got a lot of work ahead of us, but I think we will get there. I have to, I can't lose sight of the goal, right? And that's the idea is always keep your eye on the ball, keep your eye on the goal, keep your eye on where we're headed. And it's easy to get distracted. And we're going to talk about the distractions in the news today. And most of what we're going to talk about really at the end of the day is distraction, because it doesn't lead to anything. Right, so it's a lot of hubbub, a lot of puffery, a lot of whatever to keep your focus off of what we really want. Is we want to expose the corruption. We want to make sure the bad guys are held, really accountable for it, not this fake accountability stuff that we're seeing, or the one-sided accountability that the game seems to be playing out now. So
that's right.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else you want to report before we jump in, or shall we just jump right in?
No, Gitmos treat me good today, so
Okay.
I'll just thank you to my controllers.
I bet you're the type of guy, when it comes to swimming, you don't put one toe in, you just jump right in and get it over with right away. Oh, darn.
Wife, being the age I am, she cringes when that happens.
Breaking news on the financial front today. Moscow Exchange decided to halt the US dollar and euro trading. So this is from Reuters. The primary financial marketplace in Russia announced it will cease all foreign exchange trading in dollars and euros, as well as share trading and money market trades settled in both currencies. The decision follows the announcement of U.S. new sanctions by Russia by the United States. No surprise there. Playing tit for tat here. Right?
I think that's more part and parcel of BRICS.
Yeah.
Actually, and maybe this can be an excuse for them to do that, but this aligns with BRICS more than it does their tit for tat deal with the United States right now.
Yeah, so the story that precedes that really is from Reuters again. U.S. has significantly widened sanctions on Russia, targeting China-based companies supplying semiconductors to Moscow. You see where they're going? You see how they're going to stick the fork in? It's like, you can't have computer chips. So according to Janet Yellen, we're increasing the risk for financial institutions dealing with Russia's war economy and eliminating paths for evasion. In other words, we're cracking down on you people who are selling chips to Russia. The measures also affect $100 million worth of high priority items for Moscow. They didn't say what the items were, but the $100 million seems like it would be a big chunk. The move aims to cripple Russia's military operations. So after that happened, then they said, okay, no more U.S. dollars on our exchanges. We're kicking them out.
So I like to read between the lines here. So what they've done is they're putting, in essence, they're putting sanctions on American companies for selling chips to Russia.
Correct.
While Russia and China are trying to pull the chip industry away from the United States. So they're going to end up circumventing and closing American companies because they lose Russia as a client, when we need American companies open and thriving in the chip industry as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
See the game?
Yep.
So they tell us this is a benefit, when it actually is another way. It's Obama economics, where how they just stick it in the back of the American workers and companies right there. So we need the American chip companies to be as powerful and strong as possible to circumvent China and Russia taking the business away from us. At the same time, we're going to disable our companies by not letting them sell to Russia. This is what we need to pay attention to. And we don't. The little things that are done, they always position them as good when it's undermining us, because they need to tear the United States down for their deep state apparatus to be successful.
And trying to sanction Russia by sanctioning American companies.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Interesting. Anyway, it's another hit against the U.S. dollar, and if you're concerned about it, go talk to our friend Matt Geiger, who really is supporting our show. MidasGoldGroup.com. Matt is really well versed in the area of the U.S. dollar and what's coming and what you should be prepared for. You can reach him at MidasGoldGroup.com, or you can call him at 480-725-0536. And we thank Matt for his sponsorship of our program. So, yeah, crazy stuff happening in the financial world for sure. It's like you keep an eye on this, and every day there's another place where the U.S. dollar doesn't have any impact. It's being kicked out. Amazing.
So I hear I'm frozen, but you can still hear me. Is that right?
Yep. Yep.
There you go. And I like the way I froze.
Oh, that's good.
Like a lot of fun.
Hey, you're frozen on one computer, but not the other. That's interesting. Why would you not?
Yes, chat. Yes, chat. The buttoned up collar is hit and miss. Sorry, ladies.
Okay.
It's so funny. I'm watching the chat. My button will be the conversation of the day.
It's the way your hands are frozen. That's what it is.
Exactly.
And he's back.
Am I back? Look at that.
He's back again. Oh boy. It's always a challenge when you're not.
Oh, I know what I'll do. Every time I freeze, I'll just unbutton the top button, right? And then, okay, now when I'm unfrozen, I'll have to button it back up.
You'll unbutton every one button every time you freeze. You'll be naked by the end of the show, and that's the way it'll work.
Oh,
right?
No. Hey. Whose fantasy is that, Robert? We don't want to know.
No, I don't have those kind of fantasies. Sorry, not going to happen. What's going on at Screw Big Gov today?
Well, I haven't checked in, but I know Lisa does phenomenal work and a lot of work. What we're doing is we're tying all of our platforms and websites together. So soon at Screw Big Gov, you'll be able to work with Remember Your Oath, which I have a lot of work to do on next week, by the way. Freedom in Action, you'll be able to work with that. Find all of our films are going to be there. Everything on the Unity tour and the Unity project will be there. So plus, if you want to get some swag, get some cool swag there. And just find us there. By the way, probably most importantly, because we are banned and shadow banned on so many different platforms, make sure you go there for two things. Go there and subscribe to the newsletter. So if we get kicked off of something, you're going to find us. And there's buttons at the top right there that access all social medias. For example, we've been taken off of TikTok multiple times, but the TikTok that you can click on there will always get you to our new channel. So it works like that. Pretty cool.
Pretty cool indeed. And if you want to follow what I'm up to, you can follow me on Telegram at Renegade Media. Or if you like to email, you can email me, robert@renegademedia.tv. Keeping everyone up to date is what our job is these days, it seems like. So Hunter Biden, yeah, you know what? This is the way to read this. This is from Greg Price. Allegations and attempted to give Hunter a sweetheart deal with broad immunity. That's the one that was kicked out, I think, back in December. David Weiss wouldn't go after him on the serious tax charges or FARA, that's the foreign agent registration, because all that would lead back to the shady business dealings involved with his father. Instead, they went after him for a much lesser charge where the evidence was way too insurmountable to ignore, so they can scream, nobody's above the law, when they put Trump in jail. I think he's got a good way of looking at it. That's what I was talking about yesterday.
Yeah, I agree. But we know that they were running from all these charges. And by the way, that's Deep State 101.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not talking Hunter. I'm talking the entertainment industry, the political arena, the CEOs throughout corporations, heads of universities that have had these pending possible charges, and they let the statute of limitations run out, and then they actually start having conversations about it. Oh, well, can't do anything, statute of limitations come out. So it was a nothing burger anyways, don't worry about it, right? That's the game that they've been playing forever. And it's interesting because people are frustrated with the Trump conviction, and many people think that the Hunter conviction is just to appease people, or even worse, that the deep state can say, see, we're fair and honest. But here's the reality, and I mentioned this before. We would have never seen this Hunter conviction if it wasn't for the leak of the deal that Hunter cut in regards to these charges. And then that's the one that they had to repeal only because it came in public.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So the DOJ, the DA, the judge, nobody said anything bad until it got leaked out. And then they're like, oh, okay, yeah, we'll pull that back. And now he got a legitimate charge. Now, what are we looking at? 4 months before there's actually sentencing now. So who knows?
120 days, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And one thing we can't overlook too is that the statute of limitations had already expired for Trump's case, but Alvin Bragg brought in a law in New York and said, for 1 year, we're going to open it up and we're going to ignore the statute of limitations. And that's when they were able to bring that case. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to bring it. It had expired a long time prior.
Would it be cool if they could do the same thing here? Again, maybe it's the golden boomerang. We'll see.
I'm not hopeful. I know a lot of people are like, oh, it'll happen. Yeah, Hunter got it. It's like, I talked about it yesterday. It's like, it's really a nothing burger. It's, your father's in the role of the presidency. Do you think he's going to go to jail or he's going to get pardoned or the sentence gets commuted?
I think it's now that it's so obvious that this is a movie, right? I mean, because all this information is out there and flowing like just crazy. And as we talked about before, 2 or 3 podcasters are going to get a lot more attention than CNN based on their best hour. So the information is flowing out there crazy right now.
Yeah.
The fact is, I think this is a movie for the abnormies.
The abnormies, I love it.
Right, for
Yeah.
the abnormies. It's not a movie for us any longer. I think this is a movie to say, you guys, and I know I've heard several times, people in our chat have said it before, probably today, that a lot of this stuff has already happened, and we're just reliving it so people can actually see it. And the case is, if that's the case, I do believe there's going to be an analog versus a digital comparison, so we can show people that, look, this is an unedited, un-CGI tape. Here's what really happened. So the future is really, really interesting, and things are heating up, that's for sure.
No question. Going through the news feeds and starting to see everything that's going on. There's something interesting happening too in the truther community, which is not a great thing, but there's a lot of division. You take any story, and everyone's got a kind of different perspective on the story, and nobody agrees. And it's like, well, that's really strange. Are they able to divide us at that fine level? Where it's like, well, no, I think it's this way. No, it's actually this way. No, we think it's this. And, it's causing more division in our side.
So one thing about the Masons are masters at division.
Mm-hmm.
And the whole purpose with division is so there's not a one voice or one unified force, right?
Right.
And the other huge element with division, and I mentioned this in cages, so on and so forth, is because it gets you arguing about petty little things that really don't matter, and you're not focusing on what really does matter. So they're masters at it. The question is there intentional division now, or are we just so freaking conditioned to constantly be in division? Maybe that's it, and that's a sad state of mind that's going to take a lot of healing to snap us out of that.
Yeah, I think our side needs to come together a little bit more because we're not very strong the way we are, and everyone's got a different perspective. All we're doing is seeding confusion among the people who watch all our channels. It's challenging to say we've got the right way, and this guy says he's got the right way, no, that guy. And then as a viewer, you're like, I don't know. Confused mind can't move forward.
That's the catalyst for the Unity Project, right? Is so we're working on it. If people don't know what's going on, so what we're working on is we have a bunch of truthers slash influencers doing short videos of us with some inspirational message. They don't even know who's doing the video. So they may be in a video with somebody they disagree with, but they're still giving one unified, beautiful message. So this is why we're working on the Unity project. And then it's going to go into, we have a beautiful song where we'll have amazing people singing the song kind of in the fashion of We Are the World. That's going to happen. And then we have probably the biggest catalyst is the Unity Tour. And what the Unity Tour is asking everybody to do is just hone in and agree on 4 different pillars. And the 4 different pillars are, for example, it's united we will end, ... Now think of unite. So you're going to be able to, you guys will be really easy to remember. Just think of unite. So the U is united to end. The N is New World Control. The I is illegal immigration. Unite. The T is, what the heck is the T? Oh man, I forgot. Anyways, the E is, oh yeah, the E is manipulation. So it's going to be very easy for people to say, do you agree with this? If you do, let's come together, all together under unity, and let's make sure that we, the people, can get this done. So I think it's going to be very, very powerful. If somebody doesn't jump on board with that message, I'm going to say there's an issue. And you may want to look at this person, because why would you not agree with that? Now, if you have all your separate division with your religion and your General Flynn bad, General Flynn good, or whatever all that stuff is, you can at least come together under those 4 pillars. And if you can't, then it's time for us to probably call those people out.
Yeah, and I think they will expose themselves over time too. I mean, that's just the reality of it is as more and more of us start to get smarter and discerning truth from clickbait. That's hard to do sometimes on the internet, but that's what we're looking at doing. And as we figure that out more and more, we're going to stop following a lot of the people who put out garbage literally just to get the clicks. The sensationalists, they overblow everything. They overhype it to the point where, oh my gosh, here's the answer. And you get there and it's like, well, there's nothing. It's like a big nothing burger. Fool me once, but you won't fool me twice, right? And you don't go back. Well, where is this guy? I don't have it. I don't have it queued up. All right, no problem. We'll do this without a PowerPoint slide. Garland. Congress vote today. Ooh, they held him in contempt. What do you think's going to happen here?
Okay, it's very simple. Zip, zero, zilch, zippo, the big goose egg, nothing, nada, niet, ought. I don't know if that's clear enough.
Clear enough. Anna Paulina Luna is trying to bring to the Congress this week a resolution to have him arrested, because that's what you're supposed to do when somebody's held in contempt. And here's an interesting video I came across. It's a little long. It's like 3 minutes, but we'll play a little bit of it just to give you an idea of the Democrats' reaction to somebody being...
Bannon is just...
So you get the idea. This kind of goes on and on and on. There's like 3.5 minutes of this, of Democrats saying, hey, if you ignore a congressional subpoena, you need to be arrested, you need to be held accountable. Let's see what they do. Now they got one on their side. Let's see what they do with Garland. Oh, he's above the law. Well, wait a minute. Didn't you just say nobody was above the law? I think he's under the umbrella of nobody. What do you think?
Well, I think first, I don't know how you're going to axe the Justice Department to do anything. I think it's ask,
Yep.
but maybe my English is way off. Next, if you hear democracy, which you heard multiple times in that clip, that's a psyop, talking about a psyop, because we are a constitutional republic. Another one. And thirdly, it doesn't matter if they got 2/3 vote against this guy. When it comes down to should we arrest him, they will get less than 50%. This is the way the game is played. It's all Lindsey Graham. big talk, nothing happens. And hopefully this is just another way to expose the most egregious people in politics, and that's the rhinos, not the Democrats, folks. The Democrats can tell you I'm a Satanist is a lot better than a rhino telling you I'm a good guy and then stabbing you in the back.
Yep.
And I really wish people would wake up about that. All this focus is on the Democrats, and it's the Democrats are obvious. We know what we get with them, right? The rhinos are the ones that we need to go after, full force.
Yeah, they're the ones that the wolves in sheep's clothing, like you say. It's like you don't know what you're going to get with them. I remember Bill Clinton, got elected, didn't do any of it, didn't follow through on anything. And I think the rhinos do the same thing. They promise, and they get elected, and we're all behind them. And yeah, they're going to be the fighter, and they get up there and slate wipe clean, forget everything that they promised, and they go do whatever they're told to do, essentially. So.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. But again, we're going to tear it all down to the foundation.
Yeah,
and rebuild it in the way it needs to be rebuilt.
You've been out of the house for a few days. Have you been FaceTiming with little old Reggie here?
No, I'm not that type of guy, to be honest. So if anybody thinks I'm that type of guy, it's not me. And I apologize for being so callous. I'm not the guy that FaceTimes my pets. My wife definitely, though, has been asking for pictures.
Okay.
So and she'll show me the pictures, and he is absolutely cutie. Look how shiny that coat is.
I know. Jealous. I'd like a shiny coat like that too. My hair. Yeah. I just got my Pet Club 24/7 order in today, and Thumper could not be happier. They really do thrive on the food.
He loves the super sauce too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the super sauce we mix in with his normal food, and he would before he would eat the canned food, he would eat literally a teaspoonful and walk away. That was it. Now I can give him half a can, he eats it and cleans the plate. If I have never seen that out of him in all the years we've had him. So yeah, the super sauce makes all the difference for him, and certainly he's got a shiny coat. Phoebe was noticing that the other day. It's like his coat's really shiny. I'm like, well, that's what that super sauce is meant to do. It's really shiny coat and skin, and really helps him with energy too. And it's really good to see how quickly the animals respond to proper nutrition, just like humans. You give it proper nutrition quickly. And you say, well, how come I got this, or how come I got that? Well, what's your diet like? First question. Doctors never ask it, but if they were to ask it, they'd solve a lot of problems without drugs. So here what we're trying to do is the same thing. Give the pets what they need so that they can heal and they can be a lot stronger, and they will live a lot longer too. You were telling the story about Cooper, right? Is the older one the 17-year-old?
No, Cooper's the 10-year-old. Cody's the 17.
Cody,
he's the one on the right. And we thought about a year ago, we thought we're at the end. I mean, we were actually having family that literally called a family meeting because of it. And then he went on Pet Club 24/7 food and the super sauce, and wow, what a difference. What a difference. Now, he's not, he used to be the fastest dog I've ever seen. So he's not running marathons, but he definitely has a bounce in his step. He's eating very well. He's responsive, and he's got a lot of attitude because he does not listen to us anymore. Because he's like, I've been around long enough, I don't need to. But I see, we didn't think weeks left, and now we have years left with him, so it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it is very awesome, and we're having a lot of success stories, and people are writing in telling us that. So if you want to find out more about Pet Club 24/7 and give it a try, you'll find the link in the description of the video, and we encourage you to do that. Give it a 30-day trial. If you don't like it after 30 days, your pets don't like it, or you don't see the improvements, you can get a refund on it, but that rarely happens. And how do we know? Because we see the number of people who reorder. It's incredible. It's like over 90% of the people who buy this for their pets come back and just keep ordering it again and again. Why? Because they're seeing the result. So it's definitely worth giving a try because you love your pet like we do, right, Lewis?
That's right. And folks, you have an option when you go there. You don't have to just go and order under Lewis Herms, you could order under Robert too. So just select whoever you want to support at that time, and it's much appreciated.
It is much appreciated. We thank Pets 24/7 for supporting our little show. That really keeps us on the air. We've got 5 internet connections here to make this run on this side, 4 computers. If anyone saw my desk, Lewis, they would say, you're crazy. I've got 4 keyboards, 4 mice. I've got 6 monitors.
Well, I've met you. You are crazy.
And I can play piano at the sit. No, I can't. Sorry, I got to play musical mice here.
All right, Liberace.
Liberace! He was Italian. Has publicly praised American troops who are part of the risky mission to deliver aid to Gaza via what they call a temporary pier. But behind the scenes, sources tell Breitbart News that troops' safety is being endangered for, quote unquote, a photo op. Really, this is crazy. Due to the risk of sniper fire, troops are ordered to wear tactical vests as far as 5 nautical miles from the coast. And aid has been rushed off the boats onto the temporary pier due to the constant attempts to attack the pier. Look, sounds like a fun place. Troops are ordered to roll up plastic covers on the trucks so that the aid could be photographed. Troops are also ordered to wash the aid trucks and sweep flour off of them so that they look good in the photos, because that's really what's important here. The source said this happened twice, once for the first delivery of the operation, and again recently after the pier was reattached. 2 U.S. sources said commanders are ordering troops to work 12 to 48-hour shifts with very little sleep so that they can move more pallets, which has led to many accidents, including one service member being, quote-unquote, crushed by a forklift. A photo op. Seriously.
Let me put this in perspective really quick because I love numbers. So they're saying they're trying to protect them from sniper fire,
Right.
right? From almost, get this, 100 football fields away. If they were strung next to each other, or not next to you, head to head, 100 football fields, about 28,000 feet. That's a pretty long sniper bullet right there.
Yeah. You're not going to shoot that on a boat.
No, it just doesn't.
Not going to happen.
It doesn't add up. Again, it doesn't add up. These stories can all be picked apart. It's just crazy.
It really is. I mean, it seems like they're doing everything they can to get a positive story out there about what Biden's doing. And get to the point of putting these troops in harm's way here, to make the photo op happen. It's like, man, they should just be focused on getting the stuff off the boat, getting it on the truck, getting the truck off the pier, and instead, oh no, sweep the trucks and roll up the plastic so we can see the aid. We've got to get these photos. I'm a photographer. I don't think I'd want to be in that situation taking those photos personally.
Yeah. Well, half of it's BS anyways. What do we know to believe? That's the challenge we're having right now. Yeah. But hey, let's have fun with it. Woohoo!
I'm having fun with it. Why not, right? Oh, boy. Well, we go over to the border. I've got a couple of stories on the border. I know you have a lot to talk about there. So let's run this little video first. Right from the Border Patrol's mouth.
You know what the surprising part is? What was the network that was showing that?
Yeah, CNN.
CNN. Yeah. Interesting, right?
Yep.
They of course they had to say rare encounter. Well, yeah. It was pretty easy for me to find a few Border Patrol when I went down there that were willing to talk up a storm. One even said, "You're recording?" He goes, "Can you stop?" And we didn't. Or one of the guys there didn't. He continued, and he noticed. He kept looking at his phone, so he knew they were recording. But they're very, very, very. Many of them are very concerned. Now, I flat out asked the border agent that we were talking to, literally in the dark of night between us and a chain link fence. And here's what's interesting. I flat out said, I said, how many or what percentage of Border Patrol do you think are working for the bad guys? He said less than 1%.
Oh, wow.
I totally call bullshit on that.
Wow.
I think he's trying to play it safe, right? He said he is frustrated. He said also that they're just basically processors now.
Hmm.
In fact, most of them have been pulled off of what we would consider the front line to be more in office detail to process paperwork. Can you imagine going through and, you know, 10, 15 years just wanting to make sure that you're part of some type of police force, and you ended up saying, "Oh, Border Patrol, that's awesome. I want to fight against the cartel." And now you sit behind the desk processing what you came to fight against.
Yep.
Interesting, right? But guess what he said? He said universally the biggest fear is their pensions. That's the biggest fear because that's why nobody speaks up. And I've talked to several police officers and a couple sheriffs. Actually, one on the way there, two actually, and the same thing. Their biggest concern is their paycheck and their pension. And I said, so when does the problem become big enough for you to say I've had enough? And one guy was upset with me even asking the question, like, how dare I? And another one said, if I can get 9 to 10 people together, but I said, are they all going to pop up together at the same time, or is somebody going to take the effort to organize that? He goes, oh, no, nobody will take the effort to organize it. So it doesn't matter if you get 10 people when they don't even know each other. So they're unwilling to put America first. So I asked the question again to both of them. I said, so what you're telling me is that your legacy that you leave is not important to you, just the financial legacy that you leave your family. What if you were the one whistleblower that stood up? Even if you lost everything, you would go down generation as the one in the family that had the most courage to step up and do something right.
Yeah.
And I think it made an impact to one guy because he listened, he nodded, he's like, okay, I hear what you're saying, right? And these are I was just going in to get a quick drink while we were in a drive, and I saw them sitting down, and I think they saw my remember your oath shirt, right? So we just started having a conversation. Um, but very interesting. But folks, these are the conversations that you need to have with the people in these positions. We cannot avoid these conversations. Virtually every time you see police officers, judges, attorneys, political figures, even if you think they're just on the take, which a lot of them are, you have to have these tough conversations because you're going to find the ones where they go, okay, look at the people have our back, which is going to help give them courage to make some of these hard decisions.
Yep. Yeah, their pensions, they accumulate year after year, right? And there's some of them have significant amount of money in there, and they don't want to walk away from it. They don't want to lose that job. They don't want to lose that position. So, like he was saying in there, it's like if he speaks up, he's going to lose his job because management doesn't want you speaking up, doesn't want you talking about what's going on. Tough position
Right.
for them to be in.
I'm not going to say who, but I had a top truther when I was talking about this years ago
Mm-hmm.
about whistleblowers having the courage. And he says, can you not put that message out? He goes, that's not fair to them. I'm like, no, I will not stop putting that message out. In
Yeah.
fact, maybe you've motivated to, and he was empathizing with the people and how hard it is. And I said, I get it. I'm sorry myself, and I risk everything. So if I can risk everything, why can't they risk everything, right? This is much bigger than us. Honestly, it's much bigger than this timeline that we're in right now. This is generations in the future. If the conspiracy theorists are correct, this is 1,000-year fix, where at least for the next 1,000 years we'll be golden. So why wouldn't I risk everything right now? Right? It's
Yeah.
not about us. This is
Yep.
this is about our generations of children to come, and kids are being. We can go unless we start to extrapolate, which we should do. So here's what's interesting. Do I believe that in a movie? Yes, in many cases. but we also can't bury our head in sand because there's real world things going down. These reports on the border aren't fake. I was concerned that the reports on the border may be real, or maybe they're more real than I thought. So what did I do? I went down to the border, right? And I saw for myself. Illegals are coming over. Cartel were there with weapons intimidating us, pointing at us. One actually crossed the border literally in our face to intimidate us. And he went and he talked to people. There's over 200 people on this one port that on the side of the border, making sure that they shut up and don't talk to him. He walked across the border, witnessed everything. So when people say it's just a movie, I would hasten them to really step back for a second, because it's more than just a movie.
Yeah.
Do I believe it is the movie? I really do. I think there's evidence of that. But again, it's a chessboard. So the good guys may be in control of the chessboard, but there's a lot of moving pieces that can go on a chessboard until there's checkmate. So we need to take our heads out of the sand and still push forward, right, until we fix all of this. Who's we? You're looking at him. Me, Robert, look in a mirror. Everybody, we can do it.
Yeah, and I think that the next question, because I know people are already seeing numbers like this and they're furious about it, it's like, okay, what is that action that we need to take? And I don't think it's clear yet to all of us.
No, and people saying that everybody coming off around the border, they're all hired by the white hats and they're going to help take things down. I think that's a really irresponsible message.
Yeah.
They may be, but you don't know it. So why not just say, hey, maybe, what if? Like, what if? I was talking to my wife today just because I had just an idea. What if the good guys were completely in charge of the timeline, and after everything is fixed and they get rid of the deep state, they reset us back to 2015, right? And the only difference is we wouldn't have that evil anymore, and we'd be moving forward from there. How cool would that be?
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was just that's not a fact.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a what if. Like, what if, and Lisa, be prepared, this is a perfect TikTok video. The perfect way, if you want to wake up all the abnormies at one time, it's very, very simple. When you're ready, when the good guys are ready, all they need to do is call a massive broadcast with Joe Biden at the microphone. It's an emergency. Everybody has to be there. Even President Trump will come out and say, you need to be there to listen to Joe Biden. Everybody has to hear this. The whole world will be watching. The whole world. Joe Biden goes up there and he goes like this and pulls his mask off. And you see Jim Carrey or some other actor under there. And then President Trump walks up behind him, pushes Jim Carrey aside and says, now, let's tell you what's really going on. That will be the most massive way to wake everybody up instantaneously. So white hats, pay attention. That message is for you.
Love it. Love it.
Now,
I couldn't wait for it to happen.
Not a fact, just a good idea.
Just
right?
a good idea, exactly. Well, Trump has a flair for dramatic stuff, so, it could happen that way. We know.
To me, it's the easiest way to make it happen. If they really want to wake everybody up, that would do it.
Yeah. How about a trip to Hawaii? What does that sound like?
Well, I like Hawaii, but what's the catch?
Oh, the catch is that you have to take your valuables into the water with you if you're on the beach.
What the heck?
Yeah, I don't know if I would take my camera into the water with me, but okay. For those enjoying the beach, don't leave valuables unattended on the sand, a sign says at Hawaii beaches. Instead, use a waterproof bag that you can take into the water with you. Social media users were perplexed because crime wave is so high there. They said, how about arresting, prosecuting, and locking up criminals?
Go figure. Don't use common sense.
No, that would be common sense, right? Instead, no, you're the tourist. Put everything that you value in a bag and take it into the water with you and hope the bag doesn't leak, right?
Well, if you don't think there's a deep state cabal element in Hawaii, and you think the whole Lahaina fires were just random fires all over the place, right? But yet there was only 50 shells in the hotel room itself,
Yeah.
and no one person could have even with automatic weapons, not just bump stocks, could have fired that many in the shorter time that it was. So, come on, man.
Yeah. Exactly. Come on, man. How we doing that? How we doing that? How about some pine needle extract to clear out your lungs, make you feel a little bit better, give you a little bit more energy, promote your healthy respiratory function, supports a healthy immune system, assists brain and nervous system health, and supports a healthy detox process. Find out more. Lance's products are absolutely amazing. SBGAscent.com, SBGAscent, ASCENT.com. And you can find out everything that Lance has to offer. And he will be joining us. I think we'll be on Friday's show, and we'll have a chat with him then. Can't wait to hear what he has to say, because he's always got good stuff. And there's the pine needle extract. There it is.
Yep. The Gitmo guards let me bring this in, but for every bottle I bring in, I have to bring 5 more for them. So, but it's cool. It's cool. Don't hit me. We're good. Yeah, they're
Funny
pretty
to see a pillow
aggressive here
come across.
sometimes. Yeah, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Lance is going to bring the heat here. He always does. He's also a patriot. He's like one of us, and he really understands what's going on. Has a very good grasp of current events, and is very passionate about bringing forth the best in nutritional supplements. So he's got quite a few on his website. Poke around there, find something that you want to give a shot, give it a try. I think you're really going to enjoy the results of what he has to offer. We're not going to Hawaii, though. Not going to Hawaii. I'm gonna pass on that.
Yeah, if you can't bring your camera, rubber won't go there. Just let you know.
Won't go.
That's
It
the
won't
key.
go. Well, if I want to go in the water, my camera's got to be waterproof, which it is not, so I can't do anything there. Horrible. Well, this is from Zero Hedge. Job openings are falling and dramatically. So if we look at that, job openings, non-farm job openings are the blue line, and then the total private job openings are the red line. Well, it doesn't really matter. They're both dropping like a rock here. With inflation driving up costs of everything, including labor, employers now find themselves in the position of grave reluctance to hire. Gee, what a surprise. Instead, they are squeezing existing payroll for every bit of labor they can. In other words, they're making your employees work for 2 if they can. This is quite a change for many young people. They're shocked. Only a couple of years ago, jobs were plentiful, maybe not full-time, maybe not high-paying, but they were there. It's no longer reliably true. Job seekers are now encountering a market that seems ever more stuck in the mud, with fewer positions being offered and ever higher standards for employment. Yeah. But this is no surprise. If you push a $20 minimum wage, there's only so much money in a company. A company is not a bank. I know that the government doesn't quite understand that, but a business is not a bank. And, we keep hearing every day more and more of them shutting down because they just can't make it. So that leaves you with fewer doors open for workers.
Yeah, and there's a larger ramification here that I've seen in business. So what happens is when workers are happy, your business has an opportunity to thrive, because then the customer service is happy, the quality of product is happy, the delivery is better. What happens is when you overwork your employees and they become unhappy, the first stage is production doesn't increase, it actually drops.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah.
And then what happens is the ramifications of that is the quality drops. And when the quality drops, your end user stops buying your product as much. But you know what the next stage is, and this is the worst stage, is you get what's called employee apathy. And when you get to the stage of employee apathy, you're done, because the employee doesn't care.
They don't want us. They don't want us around. And there are other countries. If you look at starting a small business, for instance, in Brazil, almost impossible to do. The number of people you have to bribe to get a business license is crazy.
That's right.
That's
right.
So, yeah.
Oh, by the way, folks, I've dealt with it. Bribery exists in the United States in virtually every city too.
Yep.
I know somebody personally that wanted to open a business, and he already had one in one city. He wanted to do it in the adjoining city, and they flat out told him it's going to cost you a $10,000 payoff. Flat out told him.
Wow.
He decided to move. He decided to move to another state, which now is worse, by the way. That's Colorado. Um, but it's very interesting. And so I see it all the time, and I pulling permits and things like this. I've seen permits get through really quickly, and I find out there was a payoff,
Yeah.
and I just would never do it. Just never would do it.
You got to know how to play the game, right? So this is a continuation of the story. This continues from Zero Hedge. This is an interesting chart here. The underlying finances of house disaster, with credit card debt still rising despite high interest rates and saving rates far below pre-lockdown levels. This simply is not sustainable. So if you look at the blue line, it's consumer loans, credit cards, and revolving plans, all commercial debt. That blue line is just skyrocketing, and the amount of savings is dropping. Everyone's dipping into their savings, it looks like, is what's going on.
Can you tell me when it crossed, by the way? I can't see it.
When it crossed, it looks like maybe December of 2021, roughly.
Makes sense.
Yeah. News media
That's
continues
a precursor to an economic crash, by the way.
This is very much so. So the news media continues to speculate about whether or not we'll have a soft landing, but the metaphor is all wrong. The plane never took off in the first place. No matter where you look, if you look carefully, you'll see a degraded economic structure of stagflation plus inflation. This is not a good omen for the future. And that chart kind of tells you the whole story there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Amazing.
We're over $1 trillion in consumer debt. First time in history. These are people living off of credit cards now because there's not enough income, right, to pay the bills, to buy the groceries. I remember a time you couldn't pay for groceries with credit cards. You remember that?
That's right.
Wasn't that long ago? I don't know. It's just crazy. All right. What else do we have in a little stack of stuff here? All right. This video here. Where is it? Where is she? Well, I don't have her queued up. Give me a moment. I'll see if I can cue this video up real quickly. I really want to show this one. This was going to be a good video to show, and it's not in that list. I have, when I put the videos together, I have multiple pages of...
Collectible. The top 3 banks, I believe, own about 80% of that debt. So you take that in conjunction with BRICS, in conjunction with countries moving away from the dollar, including Saudi Arabia, and the oil deal with the United States just expired, I believe, after 50 years. You take that in conjunction with real estate prices are now on the drop, right? Put all that together, guys. The writing's on the wall. It's about ready to happen. So we must be prepared for that. When I mean prepared with your own food and water, your silver, your gold, whatever prepared is to you. It's time to be prepared, and I hope you heed that warning directly, so at least no matter what pain is coming our way, it's limited with you and your families.
Yep.
Very important that we're ready. Now, take a deep breath. The good news is, even if you go historically with the deep state running anything, after a major crash, the opportunities are amazing, and people actually can build up and have a pretty good life after that. I don't think the deep state's in control after this crash. So I think it could be borderline utopia for us. So just be prepared so we can counteract the pain that is coming. I think is incredibly important.
And I always say there's no downside to being prepared, because whatever you buy for preparedness, you'll end up using at some point anyway. So it's not a waste of money.
Good. Great point.
All right, this video is a former bot farm employee. What is a bot farm? A farm of bots that they go out and they seed social media to promote narratives. So this is a former employee. They're kind of...
My opinion on this topic.
So we've heard about these bots for many years, and it's interesting to hear from somebody inside and an American company doing it too, but they actually sell these bot farms, which we know, a lot of the spyware and stuff that ends up on our computers, what is it? It links to a bot farm. So what they try to do more than anything is use your email address to send emails, right? And that software gets on your website, and so many times I find it on some of our websites, and it's just been running and running and running, and then you see a directory of thousands of ads that it's been sending out. And sometimes your ISP will call you, Lewis, you're sending thousands of emails every hour. You can't do that. And you're like, I'm not sending any. You go through the website, you find out somebody installed a bot, and it's kicking all these messaging out. So, yeah. Influence.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible, but the mechanisms are so powerful now.
Yeah.
It just absolutely blows me away. In fact, I've noticed on X. So what happens is, I followed a couple of channels, and I think they tend to be, how do you say this? So you would consider them conspiracy theorists, but they put a lot of hype out there. So, and I don't like that, right? And It's just a matter of getting clicks. So I disengaged from them. I unfollowed them. And every once in a while, when I see them pop up, I open up their comment section because I want to see if people are still resonating with them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm reading down a lot. Well, the AIs are so sophisticated now. It knows that I opened up and spent time reading their comments. So now they're back up on my feed. And I can't get rid of them unless I completely ignore them. That's kind of scary, right? Ultimately, let's take the conspiracy out of it. Let's say they're not trying to F with our minds at all. They're not trying to control us. They're not trying to guide us anywhere. You know what they are definitely trying to do? They're trying to sell us. So that's why they always have to put us in these categories, because ultimately the ads that will come after that will absolutely have something to do with what you're paying attention to.
Well, she said it right too. She said, look, she has to create the profiles, create the photos, create the name, make it look like an actual profile. And you get these friend requests on Facebook all the time. And it's like, you go and look and it's like, nah, this is a fake account, right? And there's all these weird quotes and things that sometimes match, sometimes don't match. And I'm like, no one's posting this.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes they're so out of character, right?
Yeah.
So if you would know better than me, if the technology is so sophisticated, why can't the social media companies just stop bots? How would they not know? How could they not detect it?
One thing that we all resist, right? They would have to verify every account. Let's prove that you are Lewis Herms. Let me see your driver's license, your passport, whatever. And everyone resists that. You can't build a social media network with that because too few people will do it. So you end up with a lot of these accounts.
I think they can go one step below that. And that's when, if they're trying to verify whether you're human or not, you don't have to verify who you are, but you just put in the code that's on there, listen to the code. And would that not at least take care of it right there?
Partially, because the AI is now smart enough to read that. So
I think we can stay one step ahead of it though, because I've noticed those are getting fairly sophisticated too.
Yeah, and every time you throw up a barrier, the AI will come along, and it's not hard to create a fake driver's license. It's not hard to create a fake ID. It's not, you know what I mean? So even if you go that step, how long before that gets mucked with?
Let me take it down the conspiracy road. What if the social media companies want the bots because it shows that they have more interactions than they truly have, and therefore they can charge more for their services?
Yeah. Well, I think Elon mentioned 80% of the users on X or Twitter when he took it over were bots. So he cleaned up a lot of that. That's why a lot of us lost subscribers, and we've got all these bots that were following us. It's like, well, that's not good. Clean up a lot of that stuff. But it's not complete. You still find them on there. They still find a way around it. Yeah. Sophisticated is what it is. All right. Let's see here. Let's do this story because I think this one's kind of cool. It's something everyone can do. Donald Trump the other day mentioned that if he's reelected, he's going to say no income tax on your tips. So somebody came up with this idea and said, vote for Trump, no tax on tips. Of course, he gave a $100 gratuity for a $25 bill. But okay, maybe you don't want to go that far, but that's an interesting concept.
Yep.
You know?
I like it. Get the word out.
Yeah, get the word out. And every one of us that goes to a restaurant, well, we can do that. And I think that would wake people up, because when they look at their tax bill, they have to write down how much they made in tips. I don't know how you track that, because most tips, well, not all the tips are cash, but a lot of them just come from the credit cards. I guess that is trackable now. And a lot of restaurants going cashless. That's not good.
Not good. But hey, you could always write it on. Well, I can't say that. Theoretically, you could write it on your $100 bill that you hand them too.
You know what? We need a Post-it note.
Hey, what a great idea. What a great idea.
You need a Post-it note. And then just a small one, right? And then we can sell them by the pad, and then people just take them when they go to the restaurant. They stick it on their bill.
I may just be doing something for the Unity Project in regards to that, Robert.
Ooh.
Ooh.
It's so fascinating how we tend so many times to be on the same page with our thinking.
Yep.
Kind of crazy, huh? Well, maybe it's the white hair. I don't know.
The guards have given me a message that in 5 minutes they're going to serve my porridge, so I just need to let you have a heads up there.
Okay. Well, your gray hair went away because you started swishing with NutraSwish,
Yes, sir.
which is a glutathione product, guys. Really, really powerful nanoparticleized glutathione and turmeric. And you put a couple of capfuls in your mouth, swish it around. Most of it's absorbed under your tongue, so it goes right into the bloodstream, goes right to work, helps you sleep better. And in Lewis's case, actually helped his hair turn a little bit darker. Isn't that cool?
That's crazy.
What a cool side effect. And we're finding, I was talking about this yesterday, Neumi Skin. It's really good for your face, really good for your hands. It helps with the wrinkles, tighten your skin. Look at him. Lewis is doing it right there. Fantastic. And we're finding that it's also good for wound healing. Wow, you get a scratch, Thumper. I'm talking to you, buddy. If you get a scratch on your hand, you spray it on, and it heals much faster. So you can find out more about Neumi. We love their products and thank them for supporting our show. Links are in the description of the video on the channel that you're watching it on. All right. Are you ready for something that's going to make you giggle a little bit? The WTF time has arrived, people. Here we go.
What the heck?
He just took it back.
Lord.
Yeah, he just puts it down. And the porch pirates are already there. Well, they're running around with impunity right now. No one's going to stop them, right?
No, there are no laws.
No laws.
I'm sorry. There are laws. There's no holding anybody accountable with our laws.
Well,
that's what the challenge.
Hey, it's under $950. It's all yours, baby. Take it. Yep.
Amazing.
Crazy.
Amazing. I like to say it's 2A.
Yeah. May come to that. I don't know. We're kind of moving in that direction, aren't we?
Yeah, I think it might.
Well, thank you, my friend, for taking time out. I know you've got a lot on your plate, and the internet connection held. Yay!
Well, I just froze for a second there, just in time. Robert, appreciate you very much. A big thank you to our audience, of course. I'll be in full swing come Monday. Robert's got some good stuff for you, probably Thursday and Friday, though. I'm excited to see.
Yeah, we have Lee Mills here tomorrow, and Friday we're going to have Lance. I just got a text message. I need to confirm with him. We'll have him on Friday. So, yeah, we have 2 good shows coming up for you. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate every one of you. And, Lewis, I appreciate you. And